Long, long ago, the Emperor of Heavens, Tente, had a daughter. Her name was Orime, which means Weaver Princess. Just as her name suggests, Orihime was very good at weaving. She used the pattern of the clouds as inspiration for the design of her beautiful cloak. Tente was delighted with her work. These are indeed heavenly garments, he said. On the other side of the Milky Way River, a young man heard the sound of Orihime. He was a hard-working boy who was a cattle herder. He was called Hikobushi. What a beautiful sound! I wonder who is weaving, thought Hikobushi. Tente became concerned that Orihime was working too hard. He thought that she might be lonely, with nobody to talk to. One day, Tente said, I think that Orihime and Hikobushi would get on well if they get married. They will be able to work together and will doubtless be even stronger than before. Orihime will be happy and they will make our life in the heavens much more prosperous. And so, Orihime crossed the Milky Way River, which divided the heavens, to marry Hikoboshi. Hikoboshi looked at the woman he had heard weaving and thought that he'd never seen anyone so beautiful. Orihime looked at the strong, hard-working young man and felt as though she'd been known him all her life. The two gazed happily into each other's eyes. Before they met, both Orihime and Hikoboshi had been all alone and had filled their days with work. However, now things were different. Together they loved, together they sang, together they talked. It was as if the two of them were in a dream. They loved spending time together from morning until evening in the shade of the trees. Orihime and Hikobushi would sit talking to each other. Orihime would comb her long black hair, and nearby by Hikobushi would make music by blowing through a reed. After only a short while, Orihime's fingers forgot how to weave, and Hikobushi's skilled hands forgot how to control cattle. Tente despaired. He said, if this continues, then all our heavenly garments will be rags, and all the cattle will be left to roam freely and become sick. He was sad. Orihime and Hikobushi's great skills were lost, but the two young people continued to sit under the trees and show no signs of doing any work. Tente thought about what he should do and decided to take action. He decided that Orihime should return to her own side of the Milky Way River, and she had no choice but to follow his orders. Orihime began to weave again, and Hikobushi once again cared for the cattle. However, they were both overcome by sadness as a result of their separation. I long to meet with Hikobushi. I long to hear his voice, said Orihime. I wonder what Orihime is doing. How happy I would be if I could just catch a glimpse of her, thought Hikoboshi. Orihime and Hikoboshi faces grew pale, and they both gradually lost weight. Seeing this, Tentei felt sorry for them. So he announced, Orihime and Hikoboshi, I will permit you to meet once a year. He decided that the day would be the 7th July. So, on the evening of the 7th July, Orihime and Hikoboshi came running from the east and from the west until they reached the banks of the Milky Way River. Suddenly, a flock of magpies appeared from nowhere and spread out their wings to form a bridge. This happens every year, and Orihime crosses the bridge to join Hikobochi. However, if it rains, it's said the magpies don't come, and Orihime is unable to cross the river to meet Hikoboshi. If this happens, the couple have to wait another year until they can be reunited. The day on which Orihime and Hikoboshi meet has come to be known as Tanabata, which means seventh evening. On the evening of Tanabata, if there is a clear night sky, why don't you try looking up? If you do, you should be able to see the star of the Weaver Girl and the star of the herd boy shining brightly and happily next to each other.